If we have courage and wisdom, I think you know what the answer is going to be, because you can't let people get away with what they got away with. Think of it, with over 74 million votes, think of that, I got more votes than any sitting president in history, 11 million more votes than we got in 2016. And we thought that if we could get 68 million, 67 million, that would be the end. All of our great, brilliant geniuses said you'd win if you get 67 or 68, it's over. We got 74 million plus, and they're trying to convince us that we lost. We didn't lose.
Each one of them has, in one degree or another, almost the same pattern of activity. This was a pattern that was set by somebody in Washington because everybody else carried it out exactly in the same way. And they did it in the crooked cities.
They found a lot of ballots, to be nice about it, and they got rid of some too. The 74, let me tell you, the 74 could have been even higher. As the great pollster, John McLaughlin, who's really a great pollster, one of the most highly respected, he said there's no way this could have happened other than the obvious cheating or a rigged election. There's no way it could have happened.
Judge Ken Starr and Alan Dershowitz, gentlemen, it's good to see you both. Rudy just said this was a pattern that was set by somebody in Washington.
There certainly is probable cause for investigating and looking further. Giuliani has made very serious accusations.
How about Pennsylvania, where they throw the poll watchers out? They threw them out. They literally threw them out. And they did it here too, by the way. But we caught them cold and have numerous cases pending, and so far we haven't been able to find the people with the courage to do the right thing. And that is true in Georgia, certainly, but we're going to hit those people, and they're going to go down in history as great people. They're going to go down because everyone knows what took place.
Luckily, the cameras were on. They didn't know it. And then they took ballots out hidden under a table all day. And then they spent the rest of the night counting the secret ballots. And I think that ended up being about 148,000 to 7,000. 148,000 for Biden, 7,000 for Trump.
You know, it's interesting. I wrote this out, and I had just a few of the facts, which I think, because I want to get onto the presidentials. Listen to this. These are the facts. And each fact is like irrefutable, and it means win. No incumbent who received 75% of the total primary vote lost re-election in the history of our country. President Trump received 94%, not 74, 94, which is one of the highest in history. All of the primary votes, nobody's received at a much lesser level than what they always won. But we didn't, according to what they say. It's rigged. It's a fixed deal.
The prediction of Jimmy Carter and James Baker in 2000 and their commission has come true, and it is a bit of a nightmare. They warned that absentee voting, mail-in voting, is a huge potential for fraud.
And we won all over the place. And many of these swing states, you know, it's a very interesting statistic. President Obama beat Biden all over the country, except in some of the swing states where Biden beat him badly. How does that work? And they say it's statistically impossible. He beat crooked Hillary. Think of this. He beat crooked Hillary in the swing states, but she beat him everywhere else. Let me tell you, this election was rigged.
Because we know the media doesn't give it a fair shake, and we know that everybody else is partisan. The American public wants to know, is Giuliani correct or isn't he correct?
Can't let it happen. Can't let it happen. Your governor could stop it very easily if he knew what the hell he was doing. He could stop it very easily. Hundreds of thousands of illegal votes were cast in each state. Far from, I mean, you look at this, hundreds of thousands more than we needed were cast in every state we're talking about, not only here, but Michigan, Pennsylvania.
Yeah, I think the Georgia legislature, at least that committee, seemed to be really troubled by the evidence, not just the video, but the other evidence of irregularities and the like.
And remember this, we had this massive race all over the country, so they could cheat in Georgia, and people aren't really watching it like they should. And, you know, again, all I can do is say, I'm running, win, and then do a good job as president. That's all. I don't run the elections. I don't run to see if people are walking in with suitcases and putting them under a table with a black robe around it. I don't do that.
In Wisconsin, the use of the drop boxes, a kind of an innovation that were unmanned in violation of state law, huge problem in terms of potential fraud.
Initial numbers show that 26% of President Trump's voting share came from non-white voters, the highest percentage for a GOP presidential candidate since 1960. That's a long time ago. Winning all 27 toss-up races in the House. Think of it. We didn't lose a seat in the House. Think of this. First time that anybody, I think in history, we didn't lose one seat. Normally you lose 2, 3, 5, and you replace. We lost nobody sitting in Congress. I worked hard in the House with Kevin McCarthy. Not losing a single legislative chamber.
And do you think that the Supreme Court would rule that it was unconstitutional to widen the vote, even in the face of a pandemic?
I think so. I think that there's a 5-4 vote now in the Supreme Court, and Justice Alito seemed to suggest that that would cancel out the votes in Pennsylvania that were received after the close of Election Day.
You know, I thought we were going to easily win, and that maybe for the first time in a long time, I'd go take a nice little vacation for about 2 days, and then we go back. And instead, I probably worked harder in the last 3 weeks than I've ever worked in my life doing this. And I've become friendly with legislators that I didn't know 4 weeks ago, and actually they're great people. In fact, in my pocket right here, we have a couple of them right in here. Where's Bert Jones? Where's Bert Jones? Bert, well, you're a young guy. I thought you were young, but not that young. Bert Jones, I want to thank you, Bert, for being here.
I think, to be honest, we're running out of time. So it's going to take an extraordinary action by legislatures and so forth. And Rudy is rightly pointed to legislatures because therein lies the ultimate, other than the Supreme Court of the United States.